This is E at the Crochet Lounge, and today we are going to be making the Lotus flower lace. Credits to a Miss Nancy Flintings. The pattern is converted to a picture chart that I'll be showing you here. It is from The Creative Wife, Volume 6 by Seco and Publishings back in 1915. So this is a vintage pattern that my friend Amanda Watson is kind enough to use her artistic abilities to draw out for us. So I'm going to start with chain 7 and a join. Join to the first chain, and I'm going to be crocheting over my tail. We're going to make a chain 3 and then 13 double crochets into the middle of the circle. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So it's coming together nicely already. We are going to chain 3. Now for each double crochet there's going to be a chain 1 in between. So chain 1, turn, go into the next stitch, chain 1, double crochet into the next stitch, chain 1, double stitch, crochet into the next stitch, chain 1, and we're going to do this all the way around. We'll be ending on a double crochet into the last stitch. Don't forget that chain 1 in between the double crochets. And one more into the top of the chain 3. Row 3, you're going to chain 3 and turn your work, double crochet into the first chain 1 space, turn your work 90 degrees counterclockwise, chain 3, and you'll be working into this double crochet bar you've just created. 1, 2, 3, and you're going to do 6 double crochets into this double crochet bar to create the lotus flower petal. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 'You want to skip the next chain 1 space and work into the next chain 1 space after that. So skip 1 and work into this one. You slip stitch, and that anchors your petal to the rest of your flower. Chain 3, going to do the same again, double crochet into the same, chain 1 space. Now rotate your work 90 degrees, chain 3, 6 double crochets into the last double crochet bar you just created. You want to skip a chain 1 space, slip stitch into the next chain 1 space, chain 3, double crochet into the same chain 1 space, chain 3, rotate your work, 6 double crochets into the double crochet bar you just created, and you want to do this until you have a total of 5 petals. Skip a space, slip stitch in the next space. We now have 3 petals. Chain 3, double crochet in the same space, chain 3, 6 double crochets in the double crochet bar you just created, now we have 4 petals. We're going to skip a chain 1 space, slip stitch into the next one. You should have 4 chain 1 spaces left at this point. You're going to chain 3, double crochet into the same chain 1 space, chain 3, make your 5th petal, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. To finish off this round, you will skip a chain 1 space, slip stitch like you did before. Right here, you're going to chain 7 and join to the top of the chain 3 of row 2, and that will create the same semicircle that you have here, or rather a circular space, so that you can start your next motif in 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Slip stitch to the top of the chain 3. Make sure you're grabbing 2 strands so it doesn't stretch out unevenly. And there you have your first. So what you're looking at is one single lotus flower with a space for the next one. This is the space that you'll be working the next motif into. We're going to chain 3 and turn our work so that we'll be working into and up. 13 double crochets into this space. This is already starting to repeat. 7, 8, 9, and I'm doing this so I can show you how the join occurs after the next motif, and you're off on your own. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Always count to make sure. Slip stitch into the top of the chain 3 of this last petal you created. So the top of the chain 3 is all the way at the end right here. You're going to slip stitch there. Okay, here you would chain 4 and turn. This would count as the first DC plus the chain 1 space. And then you would work a DC into the next double crochet, chain 1, DC, chain 1 into each DC space. And then end your DCs at the top of the chain 3 of this last row. You see that there's one more. Chain 1, double crochet into the top of that chain 3. And that will give you the chain 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 double crochets, chain 3, turn, double crochet into the chain 1 space, turn your work 90 degrees, chain 3, and work 6 double crochets into the double crochet bar you just created. And then you skip a chain 1 space right here and slip stitch into the next one. Chain 3 double crochet into the same stitch. Turn your work, chain 3, 6 double crochets into the double crochet bar you just created. Skip the chain 1 space, slip stitch into the next chain 1 space, chain 3, double crochet into the same space, chain 3, 6 double crochets into the double crochet bar you just created, skip a chain 1 space, slip stitch into the next one, chain 3, double crochet into the same space, chain 3, 6 double crochets into the DC bar you just created, at this point you have 4 petals, and skip one. We're going to skip a chain 1 space, slip stitch into the next one. You should have 4 chain 1 spaces left at this point. You're going to chain 3, double crochet into the same chain 1 space, chain 3, make your 5th petal, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. To finish off this round, you will skip a chain 1 space, slip stitch like you did before. Right here, you're going to chain 7 and join to the top of the chain 3 of row 2, and that will create the same semicircle that you have here, or rather a circular space, so that you can start your next motif into. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, slip stitch to the top of the chain 3, make sure you're grabbing 2 strands, chain 1 space, slip stitch in the next one, do 13 double crochets into the space you just created, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. You want to slip into the top of the chain 3 or the first petal in front of you. So the top of chain 3. Make sure you're grabbing both loops so it doesn't come loose on your piece. Here you want to chain 4 and turn. This counts as your first DC, and a chain 1, DC, chain 1 into the next space. When you get to the end, always count to make sure you've got the same or the right number. Of double crochets and chains. You want to do one more at the top of the chain 3. And that gives you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 double crochets plus the initial chain 3. At this point, you want to slip stitch to the top of the chain 3 of petal number 4 in your first motif. Chain 3, turn. Now we're going to be double crocheting into the double crochet stitch instead of the chain. And we're going to chain 3, 6 double crochets into the double crochet part you just created. Skip the next chain 1 space, slip stitch in the next chain 1 space, chain 3, double crochet into the 6 double crochets into the double crochet part you just created. Next chain 1 space, slip stitch into the next chain 1 space, chain 3, double crochet, turn your work sideways, chain 3, 6 double crochets into the double crochet bar you just created. Skip the next chain 1 space, slip stitch in the next chain 1 space, chain 3, double crochet, chain 3, double crochet, 6 double crochets into that double crochet bar you just created. Create your first 4th petal here. Skip the space, slip stitch in the next space, chain 3, double crochet, chain 3, 6 double crochets into the double crochet bar. This is our 5th petal here, and you're going to chain 7, just as before. Slip stitch this, chain 7 into the top of the 3rd chain 3 in the beginning of the round, or the row before. So here you have the space for your next motif. You have just slip stitched. You want to chain 3, turn your work, do 13 double crochets, when you're done with your 13, you want to slip stitch that into the top of the chain 3 of the last petal in the last motif. Chain 4, turn. This counts as a double crochet and the chain 1 space. Double crochet and chain 1 into the next stitch, and every stitch following that for the row. Make sure you do a double crochet into the top of the chain 3. See your motifs coming. So this is now a repeat of what you did with your third motif. So you can kind of look back and see at the end of this row where you join to, and that's the top of the chain 3 of the 4th petal. 1, 2, 3, 4. Your 5th petal is right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4 on this side. This is going to be where you join your, where you slip stitch your new motif to. Now you would chain 3 and turn and start your set of petals. That's 5 petals. I've done the slip stitch. So after 5 petals, you do the slip stitch, and you're going to make this loop for your next motif by chaining 7. slip stitch into the third chain, beginning of your motif. Chain 3, and the cycle starts all over again with 13 double crochets. Make sure you count them. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Perfect. Slip stitch into the top of the 5th petal. Chain 4, turn. Counts as your double crochet and a chain 1. Make sure you have a double crochet and chain 1 for each of the stitches in that row. And don't forget that you're going to need to do one more at the top of the chain 3. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 plus your chain 3 in the beginning. This joins to the top of the 4th petal. Chain 3, turn your work, lacy into the top of this stitch. We initially did it into the hole on the first motif, but you want to be doing this into the stitch so that it creates this hole right here. Looks a little bit better. Chain 3. But for all the remaining of the petals, you're doing everything into the chain 1 space. Slip a chain 1, slip stitch, chain 3, double crochet, chain 3, 6 double crochets into the double crochet bar you just created. Skip 1 slip stitch in the next, chain 3, double crochet, chain 3, double crochet, skip 1, slip stitch in the next one, skip one slip stitch into the next. We're on our 5th petal now. There's 5 petals to each. Skip one, slip stitch, chain 7, join to the top of chain 3. I'll make sure you grab 2 loops so it doesn't come apart. And go back to starting your motif all over again.